following is a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network.
Kicks and finds Thompson for two.
It's game time. Let's head up to the broadcast booth for the pregame show right now on Magnitude Sports.
Well, good evening and welcome into On Top of St. Cloud Tiger Stadium. I'm Jason Growth with Lance Rock, getting ready to bring you Barnesville and Moose Lake Willow River State football here from St. Cloud, and what should be a very fun contest tonight. These two teams, same kind of style of football. They do it differently, but it's the same principles. And these two teams have kind of had this date circled for on the Moose Lake side of things for a few years. For Barnesville, it's always circled at this time of year.
That's right. And, both teams are perennial powerhouses in their part of the state. And one thing I can tell the people at home tonight, Jason, is we just got a shot of that stiff breeze coming out of we're sitting on the top of the press box here, and if there were any thoughts of a big throwing game happening tonight, that kind of curbed it. And it's one of those breezes that doesn't really lend well to even passing. It's not behind one team or the other. It's kind of a side breeze, and it is a stiff one. We're at 25 miles per hour. Up here feels like about 40, but I would guess about 25 miles per hour. But one of the things that it's just reminds you, Jason, is how exciting these games are. These young men are out here. Half of them don't have anything covering their legs from the knees down, and they're unfazed, yelling, screaming, having a good time. Now us two, on the other hand, we're sipping on hot chocolate. We got every inch of us covered, and we're still shivering.
I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for 3 plates at Mongo's, who knows if I'd be up here right now on this cold. But it's going to be a good one, Lance. We got these Barnesville Trojans with a 10-0 mark. They've kind of marched through their opponents, and they beat some tough teams. The one game that really stands out, you look at Detroit Lakes 28-13, and then they kind of just marched through the section, defeating Frazee and Crookston.
Right, and I don't want to say their recipe for success is simple, because it's certainly not simple, but it looks that way because of how well they do things. And they want to overpower you, and it starts with their guys up on their front line. They have run this system since they've probably been kids. They're very confident in what they do. They're weight room type kids, and they're just going to come out and try to oppose their will against you. And then when you have to bring everybody up in the box, I'm talking 8, maybe 9 sometimes guys up in the box, that's when they hit you with that one sneaky pass that gets down and they score an easy touchdown off of you. So the recipe seems simple. It's not. They're well coached and they're ready to go.
But you mentioned that one sneaky pass. That might be tough tonight in this wind. We can't really do a great job of describing it as much as you can, but if you remember to the NFL last year, this kind of has that feeling of the Buffalo Bills New England Patriots game in Buffalo with the swirling wind and no one threw a pass until the fourth quarter. It has that type of feeling, as strong of a wind as it is tonight. We're not overselling it. I think we're underselling it.
I do too, and it wouldn't have surprised me if there was snow blowers out here removing snow the way it feels. But for a guy who's a Green Bay Packer fan, you should feel right at home in this type of weather. So me, kind of that wimpy Minnesota guy, I don't know. Hopefully I make her through the whole game with you, Jason.
And now let's look at the other side of things. Moose Lake, Willow River, the Rebels come in with a record of 9-1. Their lone loss was to a 4A school. They lost to Hermantown 31-14, but since then they've rolled, knocking off International Falls, Greenway, Nashua, Keewatin, Crosby, Ironton, Mesabi East, Bram, Hinckley, Finlayson, and Rush City. And then in the playoffs, they took care of business, defeating Hinckley, Finlayson, and Crosby, Ironton. So for head coach Dave Lojak, it's no surprise that his Rebels are here. But however, they want to avenge the loss from 4 years ago where they lost 40-0. He said in the Duluth News Tribune a couple of times, this is a game that they circled since that date, knowing that they would see Section 8. They kind of figured they would see Barnesville, and this is the game that they're ready for.
Right, and it's one of those things all the right things have been said, and the kids are ready to play, and it's going to be a fun night of football. I think you said that beforehand. The weather's going to take a little bit away from it, but you watch the fans are filing in. They've got their blankets on. They're ready to go. It's a great venue for a football game. It's really impressive, St. Cloud Tech. And Moose Lake Willow River comes, and they tout a running game as well. And so, again, I don't think we're not coming into one of those games going, man, this weather really hurts one team over another. I don't think that can be used or said in this case. This is kind of the weather both of these teams are built for, and it's what they want to do. They want to come out and play a little smash ball football. Now, Moose Lake Willow River, on the other hand, will mix up some more counters and those sorts of things. But it's really tough if you watch that T formation for the straight T for Barnesville. It's tough to find out where that ball is, and Bredman's kind of a magician with that ball. You never know which way it's going.
Those are just some little information and tidbits to get you started on our pregame show. We'll come back. We'll have your keys to the game for the Trojans and the Rebels here on the Magnitude Sports Network.
Barnesville Cenex is your one-stop shop in Barnesville for gas, snacks, beverages, and more, including fresh Sandy's Donuts each day of the week. Barnesville Cenex has the Caribou Coffee Kiosk open daily as well. Don't forget, you can pick up automobile supplies, and Barnesville Cenex is your hunting and fishing license headquarters. Barnesville Cenex. Call 218-354-2139 or stop in at 619 Front Street North in Barnesville. Barnesville Cenex wishes the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you.
Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Call, text, email Jack, Rhonda, or Terry with questions and get a quote today. The Purple Goose Eatery and Drinkery, located at 310 Front Street South in Barnesville, open every day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Burgers, salad, pizzas, sandwiches, they got you covered. Daily specials on all food and beverage items on the menu as well. They're located, once again, 310 South Front Street, Barnesville, 2 blocks from Barnesville Senior High School. Order online, purplegoose2go.com, or text your order to 218-321-1963.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Maybe you need a summer getaway. Contact Josh Weedcheck, your local hometown licensed real estate agent with Priority Real Estate in Barnesville. Josh will assist you in finding a new home for you and your family. Whether it's a pre-existing home or a lot available to build your own dream home, call or text Josh today, 218-790-2477. Priority Real Estate, wishing the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
Well, welcome back into the press box, or on top of the rope. There we go. Wind blew my microphone there. Into the press box here at St. Cloud Tech Tiger Stadium. It's a nice chilly evening here on the Magnitude Sports Network as the Barnesville Trojans with a record of 10-0 take on the Moose Lake Willow River Rebels, coming into tonight's contest with a record of 9-1. Lance, we'll get to our keys to the game first. For the Rebels of Moose Lake Willow River, one of the things I think you touched on it, with the way these two teams play defensively, you have to be assignment sharp and stay on your keys all game long.
Right. I don't think you can catch yourself guessing against Barnesville, Jason. I think it's one of those things that everybody's going to have an assignment, and it's going to be those plays where they're not. One guy goes and thinks he sees where the ball's going, and he forgets his assignment. That's where Barnesville makes their big plays. So I think that's one of the keys. Everybody has to do their job for them tonight, and if they do it well, they can stay into the game. One of the things I also believe is they got to avoid mistakes. You can't give a short field on a night like tonight or any night to the Barnesville Trojans. They just are too good. They capitalize on short field, and all of a sudden a 1 or 2 score game becomes a 3-4 score game, and then they have the ability to eat the clock. So again, stay, and then be as physical as they are. That's a tough task to order. I've watched Barnesville a couple times on Magnitude, and that's what they like to do. They like to come out physical, and if Moose Lake Willow River can match that physicalness, it could be a really interesting game heading into the fourth quarter.
Well, another key I think we need to touch on for Moose Lake Willow River, both these teams, you look at it, they put up a lot of points, but they don't really have offenses that are quick score. So with that being said, you have to control the time of possession, especially if you're Moose Lake Willow River. You want to get Barnesville chasing points if you're the Rebels.
Well, exactly, and one of the things that I think you have to be positive on first down if you're Moose Lake. What do I mean by that? It has to end up being 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6. I don't think you can withstand a holding penalty or an offsides or an illegal procedure. I don't think it can be 2nd and 15 or 1st and 15 or 1st and 20. I don't know that they're built to especially on a night like tonight. It kind of takes the one dart you might have to throw off the board. So I think if you can stay positive on first downs, and both teams are going to want to do that, but I think it's really a key for Moose Lake Willow River is get 3-4 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and manageable.
Now we look at things for the Trojans with a record of 10-0. You touched on it a little bit for Moose Lake, trying to get turnovers. Barnesville's got to protect the football tonight.
Right, and I think if you're Barnesville, you want to be able to continue to do what you do, and that's power football, and it's hiding the football, and a little bit with the cold, as much as they fake, that may become an issue, but you know what? I think it's one of those things they just are ready to go no matter what the temperature. So again, for them, I think it's it's a couple of things. Do what you do and remember what your goal has been. And I think these guys have talked about they want to be in the bank and they want to, you're one step away now. So don't lose sight of that goal, especially if something goes wrong right at the beginning. I know against Crookston they had an interception right away. And Crookston went down, kicked a field goal. Well, they didn't rest on that things are bad are happening to us. They went right back down and scored, and it was all them after that. So continue that sort of thing. So and they're a junior senior laden team. I think I counted 40 to 45 juniors and seniors on this team at a 2A school. That's pretty darn impressive. So lots of good things rolling for Barnesville, and again, do what you do and stick with it. And I think that's what got you here. Let it take you to that next level.
Speaking of good things rolling, I know it was a tough loss today, but the Barnesville Trojans will look to bounce back tomorrow against Belle Plaine in the consolation round of the volleyball tournament. You can hear that here on the Magnitude Sports Network. The link is set up for tomorrow's radio broadcast of that one.
Right, and I think it's one of those things, Jason, that what an awesome thing to have both your volleyball and your football team be in the state tournament, and a lot to be proud of if you are a Barnesville Trojan fan.
We're moments away from the kickoff. When we come back, we'll have your starting lineups here live from St. Cloud Tech on the Magnitude Sports Network.
Established in 1989, the charitable mission of the Barnesville Booster Club is to support local charities and organizations, especially those involving kids and youth. Learn more about the Barnesville Booster Club by following the Barnesville Booster Club Facebook page, where you can get more information on member drives, upcoming events, and more. You can also learn more by contacting the Barnesville High School office. And the Barnesville Booster Club can also be followed on Twitter. The Barnesville Booster Club wishes the Trojans the best of luck this sports season. Go Trojans!
Ratzel's Pool Hall. You can find them at 205 Front Street in Barnesville. When you head over to Ratzel's Pool Hall, expect cold beverages, tasty and crispy pizza, as well as a friendly staff. Search for Ratzel's Pool Hall on Facebook, give the page a like and follow so you can keep up to date with all the daily specials, new menu additions, and dates of special events such as karaoke and musical artists. Don't forget, if the Barnesville Trojans are playing, you can watch the game at Ratzel's Pool Hall. They invite you to stop by after the game. 205 Front Street in Barnesville, Ratzel's Pool Hall. Just a fun little place in a small town.
Not all internet companies are created equal. Barnesville's symmetrical system means you can upload data at the same speed you can download, something few companies even offer. This is incredibly important. From connecting with grandkids on Zoom to sharing pictures on Instagram, cutting-edge business, working from home, or the kids uploading their homework. Really fast speeds, great customer service. With Barnesville Internet, we've got you covered, and the future is here today.
Barnesville Drug and Hardware is your local Health Mart Pharmacy and Hardware Hank store in Barnesville. Open weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays until noon. Stop in 117 Front Street, pick up all the essentials for the home, school, and office, including smoke alarms, a wide variety of light bulbs and lighting accessories, plus power cords, envelopes, notepads, pens, glue, tape, highlighters, and much more. Don't forget that Barnesville Drug and Hardware is your Valspar paint headquarters. Barnesville Drug and Hardware. Give them a like and follow on Facebook. Barnesville Drug and Hardware wishes the Trojans the best of luck this sports season. Newell will set it up near side. Lexi Ballgreen kick, and it's a kill for Ballgreen. That pulls the Barnesville Trojans within a point. They get the serve back. Inquest works out of the shotgun again. He's looking deep, and he's got a man with a little bit of room. It bounces off the back of the net of a Barnesville Trojan, and it's intercepted. Gannon Ballgreen will get the deflected pass.
Intercepted on the deflection by number 6, Gannon Ballgreen.
Can I have a piece of that Willy Willoughby?
Wally Wibbly.
Wiley's Wallabies.
Wallaby Wallies.
Wilby Wababy.
It's pronounced Wiley Wallaby.
Well, it's very good.
It's called Wiley Wallaby, and it's delicious.
Welcome back up top here in the beautiful St. Cloud Tech Tiger Stadium. I'm Jason Gold with Lance Rock as we get ready to go for Class 2A state tournament action from St. Cloud Tech. It's the 10-0 Barnesville Trojans and the 9-1 Moose Lake Willow River Rebels. Opening toss coming up in just a few seconds, but we'll take a look at our starting lineups. These are unofficial as what we have on our research, but this is what will go when Barnesville has the football across the line. It's Tate Inninger, Jordan Kroll, Jonathan Robidoux, Justin Kruger, Nicholas Robidoux, Tim Wells, and Wyatt Suter. The quarterback is Zach Bredman, and in the backfield behind him is Braden Bredman, John Roller, and Andrew Peterson.
Yeah, and it's been one of those that it's a lot of the same names that you've heard often, Jason, and they're ready and they're battle tested and ready to go, and I'm really looking forward to this. Seems like the kind of weather that if you looked up straight T football, this is kind of what you would see. Is a little cold and maybe not AstroTurf, but a little muddy, and this is how you play it. So really some awesome things in store here for tonight's game, even though it's cold, and one of them is right now as the teams are lining up across from each other, do the coin toss and all those things that go along with the beginning of the game.
On defense for the Trojans across the front on the line, Logan Yeski, Austin Bullgreen, Jordan Kroll, and Payne Amundsen. The corners are Braden Bredman and Aaron Baker. The linebackers, Brody Gray, Jonathan Robidoux, Nicholas Robidoux, Ethan Larson, and the safety is Owen Riddle. That's the Trojans unofficially on offense and defense. And now for the Rebels of Moose Lake Willow River across the line on offense, Jimmy Walker, Austin Johnson, J.P. Mejodetic, P.J. Frisch, Zach Danelski, Olive Eckerman, and Jacob Mossberg. Quarterback is Adam Newman. His backs in the backfield, Dawson Mortensen and Jackson Schmidt. And we'll see a lot of Jackson Schmidt tonight, the junior.
Yeah, and from what I've seen and what I've read, very impressive junior, Jason. He runs hard. He's not super big, but he runs hard. And he's kind of the guy that if they're scoring and there's some long runs, he's usually involved.
Now the ceremonial coin toss is actually happening down to our left at the 20 if you're tuning in on stream. And now they're going to walk out to midfield, of course. So, your Moose Lake Willow River defense up front, Zach Danelski, J.P. Mejodetic, Austin Johnson, and Olive Eckerman. The corners, Luke Dewey and Caden Robbins. Linebackers, Jacob Mossberg, Dotson Mortensen, Jimmy Walker, and Owen Lowe. And the safety is Adam Newman for the Rebels. As the coin toss taking place.
Teams are switching ends from the way they warmed up.
And Moose Lake Willow River will receive.
Yeah, they will receive on the left side of our radio. And again, it's going to pull in some of those things that we came into play. We didn't really talk too much about the Barnesville defense. What I see is that they really like to stifle you. They like to come and hit you. They really fly to the football really fast. So, look for if I'm Moose Lake Willow River, I'm getting a little bit of a draw screen game, trying to get those guys a little off guard, maybe a counter. So we'll see how those things go as we get going. So now we have the teams shaking hands and getting ready for the game. So we're not far away from kickoff here, Jason, and again, it's high school state football.
Lance, but we are far away from the kickoff.
Oh, that's true. We are far away.
As we are up top here at Tech Tiger Stadium. Great view of everything here going on.
Right, and it's going to, like I said, Jason, a great evening. Barnesville's crowd is loud. They're making the stands roar here, and the kids are excited. And again, it's what it should be all about is this is what you play for, is to get into that state tournament and have a shot to get to the U.S. Bank and play.
And we'll take a quick break, come back, and have the start of tonight's contest right here on the Magnitude Sports Network.
Barnesville Cenex is your one-stop shop in Barnesville for gas, snacks, beverages, and more, including fresh Sandy's Donuts each day of the week. Barnesville Cenex has the Caribou Coffee Kiosk open daily as well. Don't forget, you can pick up automobile supplies, and Barnesville Cenex is your hunting and fishing license headquarters. Barnesville Cenex. Call 218-354-2139 or stop in at 619 Front Street North in Barnesville. Barnesville Cenex wishes the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you.
Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Call, text, email Jack, Rhonda, or Terry with questions and get a quote today. The Purple Goose Eatery and Drinkery, located at 310 Front Street South in Barnesville, open every day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Burgers, salad, pizzas, sandwiches, they got you covered. Daily specials on all food and beverage items on the menu as well. They're located, once again, 310 South Front Street, Barnesville, 2 blocks from Barnesville Senior High School. Order online, purplegoose2go.com, or text your order to 218-321-1963.
Well, welcome back inside or outside the press box at Tech Tiger Stadium. Apologize for the guys that have listened to the broadcast throughout the year. I always say inside, but tonight we're up top. But it's a great breeze blowing across the football field here for the Class 2A state tournament. The Trojans will kick it off right to left. The Moose Lake Willow River Rebels will be back to receive the opening kick as we get ready to go for Class 2A football action here on the Magnitude Sports radio broadcast tonight. I'm Jason Groth with Lance Rock. We thank you for tuning in. Anyway, you're watching or listening or doing whatever tonight from Tiger Stadium. We thank you. Decent crowd here in attendance on the icy covered bleachers, and they're getting ready to go for the opening kick. To kick for Barnesville will be Isaac Manival. Back at the 15 are a pair of returners from Moose Lake Willow River. Can't get a clear eye on the number on the kick. Going to the far side. Through the hands there of Caden Robbins, but he picks it up at the 10, cuts upfield to the 15, and hit hard and brought down at the 16, and that's where the Rebels will set up shop to start things off.
Right, and again, that's a little bit of the wind, a little bit of the cold, and a little bit of the nerves, I think, all wrapped up into one play there, Jason, and not ideal if you're Moose Lake Willow River. Let's see what they got on offense.
First and 10 at the 16. The road to the bank and the prep bowl starts tonight and then continues next week and then a couple of weeks after that. I don't have the schedule exactly in front of me as Newman leads his Rebels to the line. Newman looks things over, hands off left edge. Cut and a nice hit there, and running back is spun. That was Robbins on the carry. Not much doing there for Robbins. They give him 2 yards at 2nd and 8.
You know, and that's establishing that run, Jason. 2nd and 8, you get your fullback involved right away. You know, now look for something coming with Schmidt. I'm sure they figured that Barnesville's going to be spying on Schmidt big time, so go in a different direction right off the bat.
Baxton and I behind Newman. Hands off Robbins' left side. Plows forward, gets to about the 18 on the left edge. It's going to be 3rd and long, and if you're going to throw, I think, in this wind, you're going to try to go, unfortunately right now where Moose Lake is set up is on the short side to try to keep it short and containable.
Right, and I think it's going to be one of those nights as the wind seems to be picking up or changing direction, that it's going to be a screen type of night, but unfortunately, teams know that as well.
And there's a pitch right side, cut back inside. Nothing there. Nice job by the Trojan front. As there was nothing for Jackson Schmidt, and it's going to be 4th down. And the special team, we didn't touch on this in the pregame show. Special teams is going to play a big role because punting with across this wind is going to be tough.
And this is kind of the wrong way to punt right now, I think, if you're Moose Lake Willow River. So see if he can get a low line drive type kickoff. I don't think you want to get it up in the air.
Braden Bredman is back at his 45. It's a line drive spinning duck, and it will drop short at the 40 and take a Barnesville bounce to the 40. Great field position for the Trojans on their opening possession here with 10-11 to go in our first half, and the Trojans feeling pretty good early on.
Right, and that's exactly how you want to start a game. 3 and out, give your offense a chance on the 40-yard line, and we know what we're going to see, Jason. You at home know what you're going to see, even though you're listening to a radio broadcast. They're going to come straight at you downhill.
Ball will be on the near hash on the left side. Bredman under center. Handoff, roller, right side, and a big run. Excuse me, that was Braden Bredman on the carry. He gets a gain of 7. 2nd and 3 now for the Trojans.
And that's the positivity we talked about right off the gate on first down. Now you're in 2nd and 3. You've got a couple downs to do. Not that you're going to change up what you're doing, but it sure opens up the playbook.
Bredman, Roller, and Larson in the backfield behind Zach Bredman, the quarterback. Zach Bredman keeps it himself, has the first down, cuts forward, brought down at the left hash at the 25-yard line.
Right, and if you could see that play unfold, 3 people tackled the running back, and Bredman just held on to it, and he didn't even take off towards the line of scrimmage right away. He just held it, and then took off when he saw the opening. So excellent play by the Barnesville Trojans.
1st and 10 at the 26. Trojans moving. This drive started at their Rebel 40-yard line. Handoff right side, that's Braden Bredman. As he bounced it out, and you can see they got a guy spying. You can't see it, but they have a guy spying quarterback Zach Bredman. That took away from a guy that was probably the first guy there to get to Braden Bredman, and Bredman picks up 6.
Right, and that's one of those that later on in the game we talked about being position perfect. If that's your role, you can't stop not doing that, you know. And all of a sudden, you let Bredman go, and it's a touchdown.
May not have seen it, but the defensive lineman respotted the ball for the official and got it on the right spot. 2nd and 4.
I missed that one.
For the Trojans. Zach Bredman hands it off left side, moving the pile and still driving forward. Was number 2, that's Dawson Gregg. And he moves the chains for the Trojans, and it's 1st and 10. Owen Bowe on the tackle for Moose Lake Willow River, but it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 15 as the clock continues to roll. First quarter from St. Cloud Tech. Trojans and the Rebels are scoreless. First possession of the game for Barnesville. Bredman handed it off near side. I fell for the fake, and he handed it off to the near side to Ethan Larson.
That's a great little counter play. They've been going to the right, going to the right, going to the right. They brought the other back from the right side to the left and handed off on an inside handoff. And a sweet little play, so nice job by Moose Lake Willow River staying home.
Trojans come to the line, facing 4 down linemen, actually 5 down linemen for Moose Lake Willow River. Handoff inside, but nothing doing that time. As Roller got to carry, got to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd and 10. Now the Moose Lake Willow River defense bending but not breaking.
Well, and one of the things that we maybe should have talked about in the open, this is why you don't want to get behind. Barnesville started on the 40-yard line, and they're just chewing the clock right now, you know, and I think if you get up 1-2 scores and you can take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes of possession off, it's pretty hard to come back.
Bredman under center, backs in a T. Bredman looks to throw, fires far side, pass is complete, but it's short. They'll make it 4th and about 5. Coming down with it on the far side, Wyatt Sooner makes the reception, but it's 4th and 5, and obviously with this win, it's 4 down territory.
Right, I watched them kick some field goals in the opening, and they were doing all right from this direction, but the wind's kind of changed. And so I think Barnesville always figures if you're in 4th and 3, 4th and 4, it's go time.
Clock approaching about 6 minutes. Ball on the far right hash here at Tech Tiger Stadium. On a beautiful windy evening. Bredman under center. Looks over the defense, now gets the offense set. He'll keep it himself, left side, get hit hard. Pending on the spot, it should be a 1st down. And they will move the sticks. It'll be 1st and goal for the Trojans. They needed 4, they got 5. That'll be 1st and goal from the 4. As they're looking for the game's first strike as we approach under 6 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Lance, you talked about it, this team taking their time methodically and just marching down. This is a drive of only 40 yards so far.
Right, excellent drive, doing just what they want to do.
It's a good thing I didn't say what I was saying because I thought the handoff went right side, but it was up to middle to Roller. He lost the yard. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Right, and I think you always kind of wonder that one of their running backs broke through on the fakes. Sometimes I think it's the coaches see something and they say, hey, you're giving it no matter what this time. Sometimes I think it's the quarterback read. So I think if you're Barnesville, this plays right into your hands. You're just taking more time off the clock.
2nd and goal from the 4. Bredman under center. And into the end zone for the score. Brandon Bredman. And just like that, the Trojans strike first on a 4-yard touchdown run by Braden Bredman. The hole was open through the middle, and he punched it in. The 4-yard run gives the Trojans the early lead with 4:42 to go. Isaac Manival to try the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is good. And just like that, Barnesville has the early 7-0 lead. Here on the Magnitude Sports Network, we'll take a quick timeout.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back here to Tech Tiger Stadium. Jason Grove with Lance Rock. A nice opening drive for the Barnesville Trojans as they march downfield. And I say march downfield, they only marched 40 yards for the score. And they lead 7-0.
But inside that 40 yards, Jason, I think they did everything that they wanted to do. They established all their backfields. Bredman threw a pass, which shows Moose Lake, hey, we can throw it even in this wind. And I think it's just one of those that it sets the tone for the game that, hey, we're not worried about the weather. We're just going to come right down and score. So excellent start to the ball game for the Barnesville Trojans.
We thank you all for tuning in wherever you're watching the game tonight, or listening to the game, I should say, as the Trojans will get ready to kick it off here right to left on your YouTube dial. It'll be Isaac Mandeville kicking.
If you want to get the real feel, go sit out on the front porch for a few minutes and you'll feel what we're feeling and listen to us. But no, I would stay inside if I were you.
Another nice kick by Manival. That's going to send Schmidt back. It's going to go in the end zone for a touchback. So now Moose Lake Willow River really didn't get much going on their opening drive. Went 4 and out, short punt. And we'll see what they can do here to answer the score. They have not scored in 4.5 quarters against Barnesville. That dates back to the last state tournament game they played against each other 4 years ago, where Barnesville knocked off Moose Lake Willow River by a score of 40-0.
And one thing I think you can't do, Jason, is panic. Go away from your game plan. Obviously, you've worked on something to get you here. Go back to those things. Go back to what you're really good at, and let's see what they've got.
Pitch out, Schmidt, nothing doing. Lost about 5. A great job there. Swarming in right away was Timothy Wells. And there was nothing there for Schmidt, and just like that, you lose 4.
Yeah, on that one, Moose Lake, they motioned out of that, and obviously it was a read for Wells, because as soon as they motioned out, he almost like he knew that sweep was coming, and he darted right for the backfield and made an excellent tackle.
2nd and 13. They say it's at the 17. As they send a man in motion, he gets the handoff. Now it's a reverse inside counter. Broke up there. Schmidt, nothing doing. Gets to the 19, a gain of about 2.
That tells you how solid Barnesville is. That was a double inside counter, and everybody stayed home. And there, it was amazing. Usually you get a lot of shift on a play like that. Nothing doing there against the Trojans.
3rd down and long. This is something we talked about. If you're Moose Lake Willow River, you have to find a way to stay in front of the sticks, and right now they're not doing that.
Right, and you got to get that first down, at least get 4 yards, make it a 2nd and manageable, and they're not able to do that right now.
2 receivers left. They drop back to pass. Newman, the lefty, in traffic. It's incomplete. He was hit hard as the pass rush of Wells, amongst others, got there, as the Trojans really broke through that line there.
Right, and they had a great pass rush. They were well covered everybody, and also that wind, you could just see, just held that ball up, Jason, and it's going to be really tough to pass, especially from the left to the right side on your radio here, your screen. It's kind of blowing right into their faces now.
This Trojan defense hasn't broke yet as they get ready to punt it away. It does Moose Lake Willow River. Back at the 30 will be Braden Bredman. This one's a better kick, but it's going to land and roll to the 42, maybe the 41, and it's going to be touched down at the 40 after another Trojan roll. So the Trojans' first drives have started inside Moose Lake Willow River territory. The first drive started at the 40. The second drive will start at the 40.
Right. It's almost like a carbon copy. You could see that Moose Lake's punter is a pretty good punter, Jason. He got the ball going, and when it came off his foot, I thought, yeah, this is a good one. And it ended up dying almost in the same spot on the field, and it's just crazy what this wind's doing right now.
Trojan offense comes to the line with Zach Bredman at quarterback again. Sends a man in motion, and that's going to be a false start. That's kind of interesting how that's a false start. I think it might have been he went too far forward into the line.
Yeah, and I don't know what the ruling is on that, Jason, but he almost touched his lineman. And it was that big, I think he can go in motion, but you can't deceive the defense like that. And he took a really big step that almost led him into the offensive line. So curious on what the ruling is on that, but obviously they must know. They called it a penalty on the Trojans.
It was an awkward step from up here looking at it. Like you said, I think he went inside the tackle. The guard was a little too far inside.
Right.
That's the only thing I could think.
Yep, that's what it had to have been. And it looked like he almost touched the guard tackle as he was going in motion.
Now a more normal motion for Bredman, and Zach Bredman's going to fire. Fires a pass downfield, has a man wide open, it's caught. And there's brought down inside the 15 to the 13. The intended receiver and target was Ethan Larson, and he hauls it in inside the Rebel 15 to the 14, and it'll be 1st and 10. Nice pitch with the wind and a strong throw by Zach Bredman.
That's exactly what we talked about in the pregame, Jason, is they did a really good job with the run game on the first series. It sucked everybody else up. And again, if you're those corners, that's a hard spot to be in. You want to come help make the tackle, you have to stay on those receivers.
1st and 10 at the Rebel 14. Handoff left edge. Not much there for the running back that time. That was Andrew Peterson. But he is able to fall forward.
An early look, Jason, and this is just my vantage point from up here. Moose Lake seems a lot more stout to the Barnesville left side of their offensive line to their right side, and I don't know what it is right now, whether it's size or age or maturity or whatever, but most of the yards are getting gained to the right, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Barnesville go back to the right side here.
We have an issue with something on the field. One of the refs lost their hat. That was the issue. The wind blew his hat off right into the line of scrimmage. But Zach Bredman under center. Hands it out to Braden Bredman, but not much there. That was to the right side. I say not much there because it's not 10 or 12 yards. It was actually a gain of about 4 or 5.
Yeah, and that seam is just there, and I would expect Braden Bredman watching some of the film on him and seeing what he can do. I wouldn't be surprised to see him break one before too long, Jason. He's just about there. It's been one arm tackle away on about his last 3 carries.
Will be 3rd and 3 and a big 3rd down here. It's obviously 4 down territory inside the 10 at the 7. Handoff left side, plowing forward to get the 1st down. Looking for a face mask, not there. The ball carrier Larson. And it's a 1st down for the Trojans. They'll have 1st and goal. Looking to take a 2-possession lead here early or late 1st quarter. Under a minute and a half to go on this Class 2A football state quarterfinal from St. Cloud Tech. I'm Jason Groth with Lance Rock here on the Magnitude Sports Network. We thank you for tuning in. Bredman, handoff flag on the play. Oh, he actually keeps it himself. Goes to the right edge. Looked like he handed out to Braden Bredman, but he held on to it. Went to the right edge, but there's a flag, and it's in the offensive backfield. Excuse me.
And the run went right, and the flag came from the left, so I'm not really sure what the call might be here. A lot of times when the ball's going away, but you saw that. Well, we saw that break point of running that option, and boy, the Bredman boys, they just held on to that going right down the line and fooled both of us.
It's a false start against Barnesville, I believe, was the indication given to head coach Dave Lojak in the Moose Lake Willow Rivers Rebels. Lojak in his 24th year as head coach of the Rebels has done an outstanding job with this Moose Lake Willow River program. They're a perennial team that you hear in the state tournament.
Exactly, and many, many times, and has had a really good season this year.
The penalty backs up the Trojans to the 9 where it's first and goal. Man moves in motion. That's Braden Bredman. Zach Bredman looks to fire over the middle. Passes intercepted. Oh, it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the defender. It would have been a big play there. Unable to haul it in was Owen Lowe. And it's going to be second and goal.
Boy, and you talk about game-changing plays, Jason. We might have just missed one right there as that was right in the breadbasket. And again, no fault to the kids. I can't imagine. I remember playing in these elements where you can hardly feel your fingers, and that ball was zipped in there by Bredman.
I noticed one thing. When they send that man in motion more often than not, you're seeing Barnesville go to the air. Now they send a man motion to the near side. That's Larson coming near side. It's a toss to the left. Following his blocker and into the end zone. Touchdown. Walking into the end zone is John Roller, and Barnesville strikes again.
And that's one of the things we talked about, the left side and not being able to get what they wanted or maybe the yards that they were. They brought the motion guy in there, so it almost becomes an overload to the left side. And there's just too many bodies there for Moose Lake. They really didn't shift their defense. And something that I'm sure the Barnesville Trojan coaching staff saw up in the booth and said, hey, we've got a mismatch when we go in motion.
John Roller from 9 yards. Mandeville the kick on its way. It's blocked. So it is 13-0 in favor of the Trojans with 25 seconds to go in our opening quarter. We'll take a quick breather and come back to St. Cloud Tech on the Magnitude Sports Network.
Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Maybe you need a summer getaway. Contact Josh Weedcheck, your local hometown licensed real estate agent with Priority Real Estate in Barnesville. Josh will assist you in finding a new home for you and your family. Whether it's a pre-existing home or a lot available to build your own dream home, call or text Josh today, 218-790-2477. Priority Real Estate, wishing the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
2 drives of 40 yards each for the Trojans. Both end in touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 different styles. One was smash mouth football, kind of in that power T, and the second one relied a little more on the passing game. And I kind of wondered if they wouldn't go, if they were going to pass, that was the drive to do it, because now we'll flip-flop ends and it's going to be tougher to throw.
We're still first quarter, 25 seconds to go as the kick will send Schmidt back. He goes in the end zone for a touchback. Moose Lake Willow River, 2 short drives, haven't been able to get anything going. You need to get something positive on first down right here.
Right, yeah, and I think it's one of those as we're chasing another hat by the officials, and it's just one of those nights, Jason, and they have to get a positive play here. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they've got in their bag of tricks or something, but it's already 13-0, so look for something maybe a little bit different here if you are Moose Lake Willow River. And if the wind could blow any harder, I believe it is right now.
Looking at the flags, all of them across the field are just full extension.
Even the little flags in the goalposts are swaying, and our computer's swaying. So stick with us. We'll do the best we can tonight as there's a nice little run. Again, but that's about what they're getting, Jason, 2 to 3 yards. So credit to Barnesville. Everybody's staying home.
That's Schmitz on the carry, gets 3 yards. We got a timeout called by Barnesville. Interesting use of timeout, and I actually like it with the way the wind is going and the strength. Make them run some plays with this wind blowing across their face.
Well, both punts have been about 14 yards. So they're thinking if they could use all 3 timeouts, make them punt, shorten that field up, even if they're going into the wind. Now, if we're dealing with a 35-yard field, even if we have to punt, we can punt it down and keep that field advantage into our favor.
Genius. I think that's just outstanding. An outstanding move by head coach Brian Strand right there. Lanskin Willancy normally take a timeout. We kept it here. That's all right. We're having a good time in the cold as we get ready to go for second down.
Jason just wanted me to see me take my gloves off and try to maneuver these buttons, what he wanted me to do. So if this is their strategy, look for a quick tackle and a quick timeout.
And the clock went from 13. It's back to 19, so they reset it on the timeout. Handoff right side. Getting wrapped up, taken down, timeout called. No. Okay, so it was Sam Kazenovich on the carry, and all that strategy we talked about goes for naught because that's the end of the first quarter. Trojans lead 13-0. We'll take a break, come back to St. Cloud Tech on the Magnitude Sports Network.
Established in 1989, the charitable mission of the Barnesville Booster Club is to support local charities and organizations, especially those involving kids and youth. Learn more about the Barnesville Booster Club by following the Barnesville Booster Club Facebook page, where you can get more information on member drives, upcoming events, and more. You can also learn more by contacting the Barnesville High School office, and the Barnesville Booster Club can also be followed on Twitter. The Barnesville Booster Club wishes the Trojans the best of luck this sports.
Ratzel's Pool Hall. You can find them at 205 Front Street in Barnesville. When you head over to Ratzel's Pool Hall, expect cold beverages, tasty and crispy pizza, as well as a friendly staff. Search for Ratzel's Pool Hall on Facebook, give the page a like and follow so you can keep up to date with all the daily specials, new menu additions, and dates of special events such as karaoke and musical artists. Don't forget, if the Barnesville Trojans are playing, you can watch the game at Ratzel's Pool Hall. They invite you to stop by after the game. 205 Front Street in Barnesville, Ratzel's Pool Hall. Just a fun little place in a small town.
That was the country silence of Jason Groth. You heard as we come back. I'm with Lance Rock. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Rebels out of the timeout here as we start the second quarter. Live from Tech Tiger Stadium with 3 receivers to the right side, and in the gun is Adam Newman, the lefty. Gets the snap, corrals it. Pressure coming off the edge, but he breaks free, drops a pass off. It's complete to Owen Lowe for a first down, and Newman is hurt on the play. And we have a stoppage of play. And we'll take a break as there's an injured Rebel.
Not all internet companies are created equal. Barnesville's symmetrical system means you can upload data at the same speed you can download, something few companies even offer. This is incredibly important. From connecting with grandkids on Zoom to sharing pictures on Instagram, cutting-edge business, working from home, or the kids uploading their homework. Really fast speeds, great customer service. With Barnesville Internet, we've got you covered, and the future is here today.
Oh, welcome back. As Adam Newman pops up, he was okay, and the other Rebel that was down is okay as well, but his first down pass, Newman to Lowe, and a first down for the Rebels. Now they're going to come back, I formation, one receiver split out to the right side. They're going to send a man in motion right to left. Actually, Luke Dewey now in at quarterback. So he will check out because of the stoppage. Newman comes back in on the short carry of a yard. So now Newman back at quarterback. Has 3 receivers left, 1 to the right side. He's a left-handed quarterback, sends a man in motion, going in motion there is Jimmy Walker. Gets a snap. Newman fires far side, too strong.
And I can see what the offensive coordinator and the offensive people for Moose Lake Willow River are doing, and trying to spread out the Rebels a little bit. They haven't been able to get them off balance, get much on first down. They had a little success on a pass play. Now tried one there. Obviously, probably going to the air. I would really think about, as windy as it is, I'd be looking for draw or screen here if I were the Trojans.
Two receivers, now motion man here to the left side. It's going to hand off inside. Nothing doing. Read well by the Trojan front as the Rebel gets maybe a yard of the plate. Andrew Peterson in on that tackle. It was Jackson Thompson, the ball carrier. It's going to be 4th and 1. Or 9, excuse me. As the Rebels will look to punt once again. This time it's Nick Juzek to punt. Braden Bretman is back at his own 35-yard line to await the punt. And this one is a good punt. Bretman's going to let it go. It's going to take a Rebel bounce and go out of bounds on the far sideline. And we'll see where they mark it out of bounds. They continue to walk. And it looks like it'll be inside the 30 at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and it just goes to show what a difference that wind makes. Great punt there, and it was not struck any different than it was in the first quarter. It just, that wind is holding everything up.
Rebels scored 2 touchdowns on 40-yard drives in the first quarter. Braden Bredman 4-yard run and a 9-yard run by John Roller, and that's your scoring. The extra point was no good on the second one. Ball on the far hash. Bredman under center. Handoff goes up the middle. Still trying to break some tackles and driving forward. On the play was Roller.
Yeah, nice job there by the Trojans running back, just not going down. And one of the things that I could see from that play from our vantage point is how well they carry out their fakes. 3 guys were coming through the line like they had the ball, and you have to honor that.
Little confusion now, handoff inside, breaking a tackle, and into the defensive secondary. With another nice run is Braden Bredman. He brings it all the way out to the 46.
And that was
a gain of 14.
That was their counter play, and they've been setting that up, and I thought that would be coming. It was a double pull, and boy, they hit that hole hard, and Bredman has got just enough speed, and he's got nice smooth moves as he made a cut and got outside that, and away he went.
The one good thing about this Barnesville moving company is they keep that clock moving. Under center, Bredman again. 3 backs straight behind him. Handoff is to Braden Bredman. He crosses midfield, gets to the 49.
I think that was 30. Is that Peterson?
Yeah, that 30 is Peterson.
Yep, and we don't have the best vantage point here, and when they're running away from us, nice job by Peterson on that one, though, and again, doing just exactly what Barnesville wants to do right now.
Won't lie, as a Packer fan, I just struggle seeing purple. So, no, I'm just sorry that the Trojans and the Purple Moving Company doing a nice job tonight as they lead 13-0, under 9 minutes to go. And Bredman keeps it himself, fakes the handoff, goes to the right side, and is brought down at midfield.
Nice job there by Moose Lake Willow River, and they've shifted their defense just a little bit, Jason. They were in a 5 or 6 man front that time, so kind of went away from their 4-4 a little bit, moved up their outside linebackers, and now they're playing them on the line. So trying to match body for body right now puts a little bit of pressure on those 2 linebackers to make the play, but they also have support from the cornerbacks on each side.
Bredman under center again. He's going to keep left side. Gets through the second level. Is going to be short. The spot will be to the 46.
And Bredman does such a great job of that. Jason, he fakes the handoff, and then he just pauses. I mean, it seems dangerous to me. He obviously has ultimate respect for his linemen, holding people away from him. And then it takes about a second delay, and then he takes off running and picks the hole that's open. So a really sneaky kind of basic play, but really nice-looking play by Bredman.
Big 4th down here for the Trojans. Handoff right side. Stood up at the line, depending on the spot. We'll see, did Bredman get it? Spot is short, it looks like. On the far side, they have it short. Near side, they have it close. I think we're going to have a measurement. Moose Lake says they stopped it. They did.
And a lot of fire there. Nice job by the Moose Lake Willow River, and maybe that's the spark they need to get this offense rolling, and they've had a few possessions where they've done some good things. The double wing formation this time, and that double reverse handoff. It's not really quick, and you got to be quick, I think, against this Trojan defense.
Ball carrier that time was Caden Robbins. He was close to bouncing that to the outside.
He was, and you know, it's hard to tell kids. Boy, you got to hit that hole as hard as you can when it doesn't look like there's much of a hole there. But if he would have done that just a little bit quicker, I think he could have snuck to the outside, like you said, Jason, and probably turned that 2-yard gain into a 12-yard gain.
Moose Lake Willow River getting the play from the far sideline of head coach Dave Lojak. Usually always in shorts on the sideline. Send a man in motion to the near side. And the motion man goes back behind, and we're going to have delay a game. But a timeout was called before the delay of game. So we'll take a break. Trojans lead 13-0 here in the second quarter.
Barnesville Drug and Hardware, your local Health Mart pharmacy and hardware Hank store, open weekdays 8:30 a.m. to 6 and Saturdays until noon. Stop in 117 Front Street and get what you need for all projects, big and small, in your home. Hoses, fittings, pipes, and all the plumbing tools you need to keep the water flowing in your kitchen and bathroom. Maybe you just need to restock your nails and screws for that upcoming woodworking project. They have it for you all at Barnesville Drug and Hardware. Don't forget that Barnesville Drug and Hardware is your Valspar paint headquarters. Give them a like and follow on Facebook. Barnesville Drug and Hardware wishes the Trojans the best of luck this sports season.
Can I have a piece of that Willy Willoughby?
Wally Wibbly.
Wiley's Wallabies.
Wallaby Wallies.
Wilby Wababy.
It's pronounced Wiley Wallaby.
Well, it's very good.
It's called Wiley Wallaby, and it's delicious.
Well, welcome back. Second down and 8 coming up on a very pivotal drive for Moose Lake Willow River. And our opening half pass far side, it's complete. Behind the line of scrimmage and now driving forward to the 50 on that play with Sam Knezovic. And it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Rebels.
And that was an interesting play. They brought the guy in the motion from right to left, and then as he got past the tight end, he circled all the way back around the quarterback and then took that little swing pass and got a few yards off of it. So I don't think they fooled the Trojans, but it was a positive gain.
Trips to the right, one receiver to the left side. The wind continuing to blow across the field. Send a man back. Quick pass, far side complete. They tried to sneak him out. Does he get the first down? He does. And then gets driven back. It's going to be pending on the spot. It was complete to Jackson Thompson. I think he got the first down on that initial effort. And that play, they had him sneak behind the 3 wide receivers, use them as a blocker, and he went up the sideline.
Right, and interesting there, he went in motion almost all the way to the sideline and then stood, and they let the receivers do what they wanted to do, and at the very last second, they hit him with that pass. So a little trickery there by Moose Lake Willow River out of this spread formation.
Trips right, they sent a man in motion to the near side. Handoff. Ooh. Jackson Schmidt didn't have a chance. Peyton Amundsen met him at the point.
Yeah, and that's one of those, I think they were trying to come back out of that motion and run a little trap play into the inside, and the guy who was supposed to get trapped did not. And that doesn't end up to be a very fun play if you're a running back.
Amundsen introduced himself quickly there to Jackson Schmidt, and it's 2nd and 11 at the Trojan 45-yard line.
And again, the type of down and distance, we didn't think that Moose Lake Willow River, but they've thrown the ball better than expected so far tonight.
Newman looking to fire near side. The pass in traffic. Oh, and almost a nice leaping catch by Jimmy Walker, but he's unable to come down with it as he took a hard hit on that play. As Bredman was there on the coverage, Walker almost made a nice acrobatic catch.
Right, it was one of those that had hit him in the hands. Bredman hit him. Then he had about 2 more chances as he was falling down, and I'm sure the wind played all kinds of tricks with that one. But no fault of effort for either guy on that one, Jason, and that was close to a first down again for Moose Lake.
4:33 to go, second quarter. Trojans on defense, leading 13-0, backs to the 9. Newman drops back, fires near side. I think his arm got hit as he was looking near side for Owen Lowe, and it's going to be fourth down. And it looks like the Rebels will send out the punting unit and try to pin the Trojans back deep.
Yeah, with the way he punted the last time, if he does kind of that same thing, it should get inside the 10 and, force the – I don't think it changed anything that Barnesville wants to do, though, so let's see what happens here.
Nice kick here. Caught at the 15. And return down to the 23. On the return to Braden Bredman, who is hurt, but he's going to try to come off under his own power, but he is visibly limping.
And that's part of playing in the cold, too, I think, Jason. Boy, it's hard to keep those muscles loose, and you get a helmet in this cold of weather on a cold muscle. It's not a good thing.
And there's been a lot of talk lately about AstroTurf and the benefits and different things, but it's solid underneath when you land on this turf, too. Bredman under center. He fakes the pitch, keeps it himself, but the Rebels read that one well. He does not gain anything, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and we've touched on it a little bit being a Packer fan. We talked about the turf and the things about it because the last few weeks, but all the state tournament games are on locations that have turf fields.
Right, and the weather that we've had has been really nice outside, but everybody knows about now that ground would be just rock solid and have been played through rain and sleet and whatever else, and this is good to have tournament games. It takes that element out of the play, and it just lets whoever's going to win.
Ball bounced out to the far side. John Roller on the carry. He's going to be close to a first down. Pending the spot, they're moving the chains. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. As the Trojans content to move the ball on the ground, leading 13-0 here in our opening half on the Magnitude Sports Network. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to this online radio broadcast. Again, just a reminder, tomorrow the Barnesville Trojan volleyball team will be back on Magnitude Sports taking on Belle Plaine. You can find that stream here through the Magnitude Sports Network as well. Hand off the middle. Not much doing there to the 35, a gain of 2 for the Trojans.
Not to alarm Trojan fans who are listening, Jason, but there's been a little turn of tide since those first drives where the Trojans kind of just worked their way down the field almost at will. And now all of a sudden we've shifted defenses a little bit. We put an extra lineman in for Moose Lake Willow River. We've went more to a 5-2, 6-2 sometimes. And it's been a little tougher sledding for the Trojans.
Bredman again under center. They're going to send a man in motion. Now it's a pass. Throw back to the far side, complete.
Oh, it's open.
And making the catch is Tate Iniger. And you said it was open, and he got some yards there on a nice setup here. As they rolled Bredman near side, he threw far side to Iniger, gets the first down.
And one of the things, there was one guy out there and 2 Trojan players, and it was just like they both cut the same way, or he may have been gone on that one because the whole side of the field was voided with that fake run to the right, screen back to the left.
And Lance, we watched Tate Iniger a few years calling basketball games. And when he gets going, he's tough to stop. Now Iniger is going to look him to throw. On the pass near side, complete. Suter down the sideline, brought down at the 24. Iniger hits Suter, showing off his versatility with a nice pitch and catch.
Hard for high school kids to think that far. If he would have got out of bounds, Jason, he was kind of heading that way anyways. but now it stops because of the first down. Maybe they can get up to the line right away, and it looks like they're going to do a good job of that.
Bredman under center. Driving forward on the carry that time was Ethan Larson. And it's going to be a timeout called by the Trojans. Trojans lead by 13. They're driving for more. We'll take a break.
Newell will set it up near side. Lexi Ballgreen tipped, and it's a kill for Ballgreen. That pulls the Barnesville Trojans within a point. They get the serve back. Quest works out the shotgun again. He's looking deep, and he's got a man with a little bit of room. It bounces off the back of the neck of a Barnesville Trojan, and it's intercepted. Gannon Ballgreen will get the deflected pass.
The ball is intercepted on the deflection by number 6, Gannon Ballgreen.
Welcome back here as the Trojans come back to the line. 2nd and 8 here in the second quarter. And this has potential to be a dagger-style drive if you're Barnesville. Leading 13-0, driving with the football. Bredman, late pitch to Braden Bredman. It goes to the ground. Bredman falls on top of it at the 27. Crisis averted for the moment there by Barnesville to recover it. But if you're Moose Lake Willow River, I say dagger-style drive. This is that 2-for-1 possession time. If you're Barnesville, you score here. I believe, if I remember correctly, yes, you get the ball to start the second half, a chance to make it a 4-score game in that theory.
Right, and the Trojans tried to run their option. Bredman got hit as he tried to pitch, and that's what caused the fumble. So 55 seconds to go here. See if something tricky comes.
It doesn't. It's a handoff to Peterson. Nice job by that Moose Lake Willow River Rebel front, and now a timeout. Timeout called by Barnesville. So it's going to be interesting. We'll keep it here during this timeout because it's going to be 4th and about 14 from the 29-yard line. So interesting. We've seen some trickeration when they've thrown the ball, but we'll see what they come up with here on 4th down.
Right, they've used the double reverse pass. We talked about Iniger to Sutter, and that was a really nice play. Can you go back to the well 2 times? You know that in the Moose Lake Willow River, they're looking for everything that's tricky that can happen. And I don't know, the Trojans have had an okay time passing the ball. They haven't passed much against the wind, though. And so 14 yards might be a lot to ask, but on a screen pass, a double reverse pass, those sorts of things, who knows? But maybe they got another trick up their sleeve here. Let's see, Jason.
Bredman again leads his team under center. He's going to drop the pass. He's got a man open over the middle of the field. It's incomplete. He had him open, unable to haul it in, though. Was the intended Trojan. I believe it was Braden Bredman.
Yeah, he ran a seam. They ran a double. They ran the tight end and the running back right down the seams kind of together and split. And as they split, Bredman came wide open, and it hit him right in the numbers. And it's, again, you'd hate to blame it on the cold, but it might have been one of those passes he takes for a touchdown if it's 70 and balmy out.
The world-famous 2-for-1 goes for naught for Barnesville now. Newman and the Rebels come out. Newman fires a pass in traffic. A lot of contact. Moose Lake Willow River looking for a flag. They're not going to get it. It was intended for Jacob Mosberg. Contact was there. I thought the timing was perfect.
And I almost saw visions of the old tip drill going through my head where both receiver and defender went for the ball and it tipped straight up in the air. And there were 2 Trojan D-backs coming right into play, but they just couldn't quite get there in time, or that might have been a pick 6.
Rebels have 2 timeouts with 36.7 to go. Ball at their own 28. I have to say, Lance, St. Cloud Tech, outstanding facility. I love their scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a great place to play football, that's for sure.
Newman driving forward, gets stood up at the 30. We'll see if head coach Dave Lojak will use one of those timeouts or just let the clock run out, and it appears that the Rebels will be content with this one for the moment. 13-0 as the clock continues to run down. Play clock doesn't matter right now. I think we might have a timeout with like 5 seconds. And indeed, we will. Timeout called by Moose Lake Willow River. The white hat thinks it's the end of the half. The far side officials saw the timeout. It was called with 5 seconds exactly.
You know, and this is one of those that I think you have to be careful if you're Moose Lake. In theory, it's great because you think we can run to the end of the whatever happens. But if you start double, triple pitching this ball and all of a sudden it ends up on this turf and it gets a scoop and score, now you're back to that double possession that I don't think you want to give Barnesville, especially with how confident they've been running the football this game.
If you're Barnesville, you just put 3 on the line and back everyone up. And I think that's what it looks like they might do defensively.
Right, you know, it's one of those things, you know, the old school would say play prevent you from winning. They've been getting a rush with their 4 guys, so I can't imagine they rush more than 4. You're exactly correct. 3-man line, about 5 guys, 5 or 6 yards deep, and then 3 deeper yet. And so not letting anything go behind them because it doesn't matter if they gain 70 yards, it's not going to be a touchdown. Well, it would be a touchdown. It's close.
Handoff to the right side to Jackson Thompson. So glad the timeout was used. 13-0 at the half. Barnesville takes the lead into the break. We'll take a break. Come back with your halftime show on the Magnitude Sports Network.
Barnesville Cenex is your one-stop shop in Barnesville for gas, snacks, beverages, and more, including fresh Sandy's Donuts each day of the week. Barnesville Cenex has the Caribou Coffee Kiosk open daily as well. Don't forget, you can pick up automobile supplies, and Barnesville Cenex is your hunting and fishing license headquarters. Barnesville Cenex. Call 218-354-2139 or stop in at 619 Front Street North in Barnesville. Barnesville Cenex wishes the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you.
Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Call, text, email Jack, Rhonda, or Terry with questions and get a quote today.
Well, welcome back. On top of the press box, we apologize. We went for a little breather to warm up. We thank you for sticking with us. We let you know we can't do video due to video rights with the Minnesota State High School League, so that's why it's a radio-only broadcast here tonight. But at halftime, Barnesville leads this one 13-0. Lance, we got a chance to warm up and actually get some good insights about something that we talked about in the first half. There's only 2 flags thrown in the first half. Both of them are against Barnesville. And it was interesting to hear the insight from the rules clinician of the refs that they always get observed at state, and they get to hear this little bit of the explanation. What happened?
Right, and the one was the Trojans on motion, and we were trying to figure out whether he went too far, if it was too much, and we weren't too far off, Jason. It was simulating the start with we said his motion looked a little jerky, and it was not a normal motion, and that's what it was it simulated that he was going to run forward. Second time they ran the same play, he stood up, then went in motion, and there was no flag thrown. So good to get some clarification on those sorts of things, even for us that have been around the game for a long time. There's so many things that we just don't see every day, and that was one of them. So, what I took out of what you just said there was what a well played for a cold, windy first half to have 2 flags is pretty impressive by both teams, and it kind of interesting to me. Barnesville went inside, and it looks like Moose Willow stayed outside. So, and we're kind of making that same debate for ourselves. We went down into the press box, warmed up, and now it actually feels colder than when we went down. So I don't know which one it's going to help. That's another maybe key to the game is what each team is doing a little bit differently.
And one thing you look at, head coach Moose Lake Willow River, Dave Hojak, he wears shorts every game. Doesn't matter the temperature. And I don't care who you are, that sends something to your kids. When it's 20 degrees, 10 degrees, whatever it is, he's wearing shorts. That sends a message like, hey, our head coach isn't playing the game. He's wearing shorts, battling the temperatures. Let's go.
And he is in shorts, and I am in long sleeve sweatshirt, jacket, stocking hat, and have hand warmers and foot warmers going, and I still feel cold. So he is either way tougher, or I won't even say the other part, than I am right now. So I'm kind of excited. It was Barnesville came out right away, Jason, and since then the tides have turned just a little bit. Moose Lake Willow River is kind of stepped up defensively. And again, I changed that to they didn't stick with what they were doing. They were in their 4-4 traditional defense. They went to a 6-2 or a 5-2 at times, depending if they thought it was going to be a pass play. And those extra bodies up in the box have just kind of made it a little different look for the Barnesville Trojans. Now, that's not – Barnesville's had their success. It's just one of those nights that if first down doesn't go well, it's really rough on these two teams.
Again, we thank you for tuning in to this radio broadcast of the Class 2A state quarterfinals between the Barnesville Trojans and the Moose Lake Willow River Rebels. Scoring in the first quarter, all in the first quarter. Both drives were 40-yard drives. It was Braden Bredman with a 4-yard touchdown run, and then it was a 9-yard touchdown run by John Roller on the first 2 drives of the game. And since that moment, Moose Lake Willow River defense has buttoned up a little bit. Barnesville had a nice drive towards the end, ran out of time, and also yardage because they got stopped on 4th down, I should say. They didn't run out of time. They just ran out of real estate to work with as the Moose Lake Willow River defense came up big there. But this Trojan defense has been tough to penetrate tonight.
Right, and I think the way they go field position-wise is going to be key for this second half, Jason. again, I think Moose Lake Willow River, they figured they can throw the ball around a little bit. It's not pretty by any means, but it's been effective. And same for the Barnesville Trojans. If you would have told me there's probably, 14 passes between both teams, somewhere in there, I would have been completely shocked on a night like tonight. But they both had their times that they've been effective. I think Moose Lake said, you know what, we're not battling man for man, stacking the box on offense, so we're spreading. And they went to that trips look. So they've changed kind of what they've done a little bit, both offensively and defensively. It's still 13-0, but they have made gains.
I got to give a tip of the cap to Leonard from St. Cloud Tech. Kind of put in a tough spot earlier tonight, but he has delivered with some outstanding hot chocolate for us up here in the press box, or on top of the press box. During that intermission, I had a little chance to talk with the radio guy from Moose Lake Willow River. Him and I used to broadcast together. Towns that competed against each other back when I was in Grand Rapids, and we kind of said the same thing. Is like Moose Lake Willow River really tightened up in that second half, did a much nicer job defensively in that second quarter, and played an outstanding second quarter. I thought defensively, this game, it looked like it was going to be a 28-0 type game going into half, and it's only 13-0.
Well, you guys are exactly right. The Moose Lake Willow River weathered the storm, and then they actually got a couple stops and a first down and things. You could just see from the coaching staff to the ball boy they just started to believe a little bit more that, hey, we're in this game. We can do this. Let's stick together. Let's do what we do. And it was really interesting to watch that go from the second quarter on. And so, again, I think if you're the Barnesville Trojans, you got to go back and establish what you do and how you do it. And hopefully by that, they go down and score. You said they're getting the ball right away off the kickoff and go down and score. You make this a 3-touchdown game with this cold weather and this wind, all of a sudden it gets a little deflating if you're the opposition.
Well, you talk about in this type of game, it's the punch-counter-punch. So far, Moose Lake Willow River absorbed 2 punches early, 2 massive punches. They just haven't had a counter-punch back.
Yeah, and it's that big play, Jason. And I watched a few of the games that were on online for Moose Lake Willow River, and it was Jackson Schmidt going for 73. It was Robbins going for 40. And I haven't seen any of that tonight. Now, I don't think they're doing anything any differently, so I think the credit goes to the Barnesville Trojans. Their defense, they're staying at home. They are playing defensively pretty position perfect, other than getting caught on a few pass plays, which I would say probably took them by surprise a little bit, especially throwing in this wind.
Third quarter is just moments away. And Lance, as we get ready, we talked about the keys in the first quarter. Do they really change now? We see adjustments now. But do the keys for both teams? Moose Lake, this is a very big drive here to start defensively. You get that stop. If you can find a way to get some offense going, you're right back in this game. And it's a 2-possession game, but the way it feels, though, because offensively Moose Lake hasn't been able to do too much, it feels like it's bigger than a 13-0 lead.
Well, and part of it is, Jason, depending on which way we're kicking and receiving, and I haven't seen the officials show us that yet, if Barnesville receives going into the wind, it could be a flip the script of the first half, because if we rewind what we've seen so far, Barnesville kicked off to start the game to Moose Lake Willow River, Moose Lake Willow River went 3 and out, hard to kick into this wind, and they got the ball on the 40. Barnesville went down and scored. Same thing happened again. Then we flipped. Yeah, we're trying to stay warm up here. I won't, we'll just leave it at that. But they went down and scored again from the 40. Well, what happens if Moose Lake Willow River stops Barnesville on this first drive and they have to punt and they get the ball on the 40? Can they muster up something to score? That's the big question mark, because we haven't seen it yet.
Should be a very interesting second quarter, or half, as we're moments away from the start of that second half here from Tech Tiger Stadium in St. Cloud. Minnesota here in the Class 2A state quarterfinals, and what's been a fun night so far football-wise. And also a score update in college basketball. It's North Dakota State struggling a little bit tonight. They trail 56-27 to the Kansas Jayhawks tonight, for those of you that are interested.
Well, and for those of you wondering, you're probably a good thing that we're on radio, because you had to witness Jason Groth dancing to the great music and stereo system that they have going tonight here at St. Cloud Tech. It is a really fun place, I would imagine, to play football. It just has that electric feel to it.
Their scoreboard Jumbotron is outstanding. That's stationed to our right. You can see everything you need to see as they kick it off. It's a line drive kick going right to left. Bredman's going to try to let it roll in the end zone. He'll stop down at the 2. He'll pick it up there, cut up field to the 15. Breaks the tackle at the 20. He's at the 25 and gets hit down at the 27 on a nice return by Braden Bredman. But there is a flag on the far side of the field.
And we'll wait for that flag, but if you're Moose Lake Willow River, the woulda, shoulda, couldas, you had them pinned down at about the 4. And boy, would that have changed the look of this.
And it's kind of funny, we were just talking down below how there was only 2 penalties in the first half, and it was a clean game, and our first play of the second half is a special teams penalty on Barnesville for a hold. So that will back them up from the spots.
You talk about scores, Jason. The winner of this game gets the Jackson County Central Howard Lake Waverly, and they're 14-0 at this point with a minute to go until half. Jackson County Central leading.
Keep your eye on that as drive to the Prep Bowl begins tonight with 23 minutes and 53 seconds to go.
We have some other updates at scores from Class 2A. We'll try to keep you up to date here as I have to take my glove off to get the scores, so we'll see how that goes.
Handoff to the third guy through on the left side, but nothing doing. Tackle at the line of scrimmage. We'll see who that is. Ball carrier is. It was Braden Bredman on that one. Austin Johnson in on the tackle.
Again, and there's a big stop if you're Moose Lake Willow River. 2nd and 9, you kind of put Barnesville in positions that they don't like to be in. They're used to being the team that's 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 1. Let's see if they can continue. They're back to that same defense.
Bredman fakes a handoff, fires a pass near side, intercepted! Picked off! And coming down with it on the return, Sam Knezevich breaks the tackle inside the 10. As Knezevich gets the pick, and the Rebels will have 1st and goal.
And there's the big play we talked about, and flipping the script of the first half, not getting it on the 40, but getting it on the 9.
And now the Rebels with the pick. And a return of 26 yards, have 1st and goal at the 9. Newman leads his team to this line. Schmidt is the deep back, sends a man in motion, does Newman. Handoff, Schmidt, left side, drives forward, gets wrapped up and brought down at the 6. We haven't called his name a lot in the first half. Well, the Rebels didn't have the ball that much in the first half. What do you expect if the Rebels are going to make that comeback? It's going to come through number 23.
Right, and here if you're the Rebels, you're thinking, we've got 3 plays to make 6 yards. Can we get 2 yards a pop here? And so they're lining back up in their base offense. They're in the I, double tight end with the slot. Look for that slot to go in motion, and there he goes.
That's Schmidt in motion, handoff left side, nothing doing.
Real interesting on that, Jason. They've went away from that motion guy almost every time. So they went motion left, power right, motion right, power left. Let's see what they do if they run that motion guy out into the flats, because now everybody's looking backside. He may be open on that wing for just a little flare pass for a touchdown.
3rd and goal at the 6. That was Jackson Thompson on the carry. Now Schmidt in the I formation is the deep back. Under Newman, under center, sends a man in motion. Handoff, Schmidt, left side, driving forward. The pile moves him forward inside the 5. All the way down to the 3.
Boy, would this be a stand for the Trojans if they can stop them on the 9 after that big interception. And we have 4th and 3 here boy, this is a big play for both teams.
Trojan fans shaking the bleachers right now, trying to cheer on their defense. The Rebels hoping to score and cut into the lead.
Has to be a fake to Schmidt here and something else going.
There's the fake. Newman fires a jump ball. It's intercepted. Coming down with it in the end zone for the interception is Asher O'Brien. And that ball will now come out to the 20-yard line as it's a touchback on the interception.
Boy, and what coulda, shoulda, woulda there. And you know, you can't blame Moose Lake Willow River. They went to their guy 3 times, and it's one of those, do you fake earlier to him and go? I don't know. You can second guess, and we can play Monday night quarterback all night long, but there just wasn't anybody open. And give the Trojans credit because they defended everybody on that play.
And now the Trojans coming off a turnover will come back out. 1st and 10 at the 20. Handoff left side. Nice job by the Moose Lake Willow River defense, as there's not much there for Andrew Peterson. Depending on the spot, I think he lost 3.
Right, and they've really shored up that first down defense, Moose Lake Willow River, and you know what you're going to get from Barnesville, and they've just done a nice job. And Barnesville tried to exploit it by sending 4 receivers out, both running backs and both tight ends on that interception. And they defended it well, and they are now in a 5-man line. So they've got a 5-2, and they brought both safeties. They're tight. Everybody's within 5 yards of the ball right now.
Handoff.
Right up the middle.
It's about 2 or 3 times a game I'm going to fall for their fakes, and that was one of them. Because I was looking at Braden Bredman along the outside thinking he was going for 6.
That's why there are 2 of us, and that's why they're so darn good at what they do, Jason.
But there was a flag on that play, and it's going to be against Barnesville. It's for a false start.
So something is, we talked about that a little bit. Somebody is flinching a little bit, or there's a little bit of movement up in that line, and it's causing them a little grief. Those are penalties they can't afford to have.
Be 2nd down and 16. As you can see, you can't see it at home, but you can see it here. A couple of Moose Lake Willow River defenders were chucking the hand warbers off to the sideline.
Yeah.
As about 8 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. The Trojans lead 13-0, but backed up now 2nd and 16 at their own 14. There's the toss to the right side. On the option, Bredman gets hit hard on the pitch from Zach Bredman. Sorry, Lance, didn't mean to
I'm really intrigued by this Moose Lake Willow River defense. They're now kind of in what we would call a tight formation, so they're covering up both A gaps and both B gaps. They're spreading their defensive ends out wide, and then they're playing 4 guys stacked, 2 linebackers, and the 2 safeties are right behind him. And what they're trying to do is eat everybody up and then let the safeties come up and just find the football. And so far, it's working.
3rd and 12 now for the Trojans. Zach Bredman sends a man in motion. That's Braden Bredman coming to the near side. Bredman's going to look and now hands it off. On a nice handoff there, getting the ball. Dawson Gray to the left side. But Moose Lake Willow River does a nice job of recovering, and it's going to be 4th down. And now we got a timeout for an injured player. A couple of injured players, actually. We'll take a quick timeout.
Can I have a piece of that Willy Willoughby?
Wally Wibbly.
Wiley's Wallabies.
Wallaby Wallies.
Wilby Wababy.
It's pronounced Wiley Wallaby.
Well, it's very good.
It's called Wiley Wallaby, and it's delicious.
Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Maybe you need a summer getaway. Contact Josh Weedcheck, your local hometown licensed real estate agent with Priority Real Estate in Barnesville. Josh will assist you in finding a new home for you and your family. Whether it's a pre-existing home or a lot available to build your own dream home, call or text Josh today, 218-790-2477. Priority Real Estate, wishing the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The Purple Goose Eatery and Drinkery, located at 310 Front Street South in Barnesville, open every day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Burgers, salad, pizzas, sandwiches, they got you covered. Daily specials on all food and beverage items on the menu as well. They're located, once again, 310 South Front Street, Barnesville, 2 blocks from Barnesville Senior High School. Order online, purplegoose2go.com, or text your order to 218-321-1963.
Well, welcome back. The injured players from Moose Lake Willow River have been helped off on their own power and appear that they're okay. It'll be 4th down and 7 from their own 23 for the Trojans, as they will be forced to punt.
And again, this is what we talked about, that flip a script. Let's see how the Trojans punt in this wind. They're thinking pretty well as far back as the Willow River player is.
And it's going to go out of bounds at the Trojan 43-yard line.
I was going to give those of you at home a guess. Where do you think this punt's going to land? But everyone's been about exactly at the 40. Again, Jason, here's the difference in the game. Can you capitalize if you're Moose Lake Willow River? You got 6 minutes. You'd obviously want to get a score, stop the Trojans again and make them punt into that wind. But I haven't seen that powerful offense yet.
I got to say, this is one of those situations. And yes, it's the third quarter with 6:35 to go. But the way the wind is blowing, the way the team's been playing with this wind, this is almost a quick strike drive, I think, if you're looking at it at home.
Exactly.
Schmidt moves in motion. They're going to hand off inside. Getting the handoff that time was Owen Lowe. There was nothing doing. The ball came out. Trojans come up with it. They had the football. It's recovered. Coming up with it, Logan Yeski recovers it. And the Trojans, one play, get the stop.
Yeah, that's a huge turn of events here in this game, because now you've flipped that field, and that win, that's been the one thing that's been constant, is those with the short field have done pretty well going this direction. But nice job by the Trojans getting that ball back.
For you to listen, the Trojans are going left to right, the Rebels going right to left. Bredman under center. Handoff was straight up the middle. It was John Roller on the carry to the left side inside the hash. It'll be 2nd down. We got about 3 on the play.
And that's been the one thing that's been the most deceiving, but it's not deceiving Moose Lake Willow River, is that hand back. All the running backs coming to the right, hand back to the left, and Moose Lake's just staying home. And I was kind of wondering, because they had a couple players go down, but same thing seems to be going for Moose Lake, as they're in that same defense they were before.
Bredman under center. Handoff up the middle. Braden Bredman drives forward into the Rebels' territory to about the 43-yard line. Excuse me, that was John Roller on the carry. Juzak on the tackle, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans at the 42 of Moose Lake Willow River.
Right, and that was a little different look for the Trojans, as they did a little bit more pulling there, and I think they went at the center, or the nose tackle at that time. They had been going and trying to push out the tackle, and they went at the nose guard that time, and it opened up a seam in the middle. So see if that's the adjustment they made at half.
Bredman keeps it himself to the right side. Is brought down on the play by Luke Dewey. He gets tackled inside the 40 at the 36. That's 2nd and 4, and the Trojans starting to pick up bigger chunks of yardage here in the 3rd quarter now.
Boy, and if you're cheering for one of those offensive linemen for the Trojans, you'll be really proud of them right now. They got off that snap, and they had everybody 3 to 4 yards back, and it ended up being a 8-yard gain there. And that was the offensive line. They didn't get touched till yard 5.
Bredman handed off, trying to bounce it outside. Nothing doing there for Dawson Gregg. First hole wasn't there, so he tried to poke through the second on the outside. Not there either, but it's going to be 3rd down and 3 for this Trojan offense. Ball spotted at the 34-yard line of Moose Lake, Willow River on the left hash on the far side of the field.
And if nothing else, they're eating up this quarter going into the wind. And right now they flipped the field to, if you wanted to punt it even at the 35 and pin the other team, Moose Lake, Willow River, back, you would be good. But I think they're looking at this as, let's get this into the end zone and put this game away.
Bredman keeps, but wow, did that Moose Lake, Willow River defense surge there. Getting through and being the first man to make the play was Austin Johnson. He was joined by Jimmy Walker, and Luke Dewey was there as well, and it's going to be 4th down and 5. And if you're Barnesville, I think you're playing field position, and you might punt this one away, and that's indeed what they will do.
Yeah, and I don't think you do, maybe you go for it if it's, you're up another score or you're not up another score. But right here being 13 points, I think you have to pin these guys back. But, hey, here's a good spot for a fake, too, if you have one in your arsenal.
Moose Lake does not have anyone back, so they're either bringing pressure or anticipating that fake. It's a line drive kick. It's going to stop at the 20, so that's a 17-yard punt by Isaac Medeville.
Yeah, and that ball hardly it couldn't have been 7 feet in the air, and I don't think you can get it any higher than that. Honestly, the American flag is like blowing straight almost in there, and it's crazy right now. So that was awesome to get 17 yards there, but then you start to wonder, should we have just went for it if it's only 17 yards?
Trips left, one receiver right for Newman in the gun. He's got a running back to his left. Steps, has time. Now pocket collapses, fires a pass here. Side, it's complete. All the way to midfield, making the catch. Jimmy Walker on a nice pitch and catch. Newman to Walker, gain of 30, and it's 1st and 10. They're going to mark it inside the 50 at the 49 on Barnesville's side, so a gain of 31.
And that was unbelievable. I mean, that had more air on than the punt did, Jason, and it was crazy that they came down with it, and it was good coverage by the Trojans, just outstretched hands. And if I remember right, Jimmy Walker's a pretty good-sized fella himself, in the 6'2" maybe range, somewhere in there, and he used those long arms and went up and got that.
And now we're going to have a timeout called by Moose Lake Willow River. They had trouble getting the play in from the sideline. The play clock was down to 7, and it wasn't still into the huddle yet. That, I think, is going to play a role, but we'll take a break.
Dean's Bulk Service C-Stores in Barnesville and Sabin are your stops for high-quality Arco gas and diesel fuels, plus a car wash in Barnesville. Don't forget to pick up your favorite snacks and beverages as well. Dean's Bulk Service is your preferred choice for your propane, fuel, diesel, exhaust fluid, and ISO-Clean certified lubricants for your home, farm, and business. Call them 1-800-548-2799 or visit dbsoil.com to see what they can do for you.
Welcome back to St. Cloud Tech and Tiger Stadium. I'm Jason Joseph with Lance Rock as we're high above Tech Tiger Stadium. Bearing the elements tonight with the cameraman for one of his tools is toughing it out as well up here.
I think he's dressed better than we are, though.
Yeah, he's definitely more prepared.
Boy, those big plays it's so crazy, Jason, what it does. Just how Moose Lake comes out of the timeout. They're just fired up again. So Tripp's right here again, kind of a formation, and now they go in motion to get quads.
Newman fires right side of the motion man. It's complete. Trying to drag a defender is Jackson Thompson, and he does inside the 45 to the 42. I was going to say on that last big play of Newman to Walker, there's a flag in the backfield. We'll see. It looks like it might be where it's roughing the passer. And we'll wait for the official's call before I continue my point that I was talking about. Oh, they're taking a little bit longer. But my point was that the line gave him just enough time on that pitch and catch. And now there's a personal foul roughing the passer against Barnesville. So now you add 15 more, and Moose Lake's really getting something going. But understand the big play. They gave him just enough time to get rid of that pass. Here, enough time, but he still took a hard hit.
And that's that same play that they ran effectively in the first half, Jason. They have trips to the right. They run their tailback all the way to the sideline. They wait for everything to clear, and then they throw to him. It's a dangerous pass because it's a long one, and it could be a pick six if it goes the other way.
Penalty now goes to the 27-yard line. Now it's a handoff and nothing doing on the ground. Handoff to Jackson Thompson. I get why you got to mix in and run. You got to keep the front off balance a little bit, but now you're back behind the sticks at 2nd and 12.
Right, and I hate to bring this up already, but the way both teams play this game, Jason, your possessions are limited right now. I know we're not even into the fourth quarter yet, and there's a minute and 50-some seconds left, but you got to score on this one.
Well, that was my point with the 6-minute drive before they threw it, got stopped right away, is the time, especially with this win and the way you're having success throwing now. Newman puts it down and is going to take off left side. He's got some room, and he's finally hauled down at the 24. As he pump faked once, saw the pressure coming, went out to the outside on the left edge and got down to the 24. It's going to be 3rd and about 7.
And what you did right there is you made it 3rd and manageable. And now if you can get 2 or 3 yards, at least you've got 4th and 3. You sustain this drive. So nice job. There was nobody open. Barnesville defense has stepped up to the task here, even after the penalty. Sometimes those are hard to come by, but Moose Lake Willow River really likes this trips offense. They're trips right again with the motion guy coming back to the left.
That's Walker now goes back behind the quarterback to the right. High snap, Newman gets it down, pass to Walker, incomplete. That play was doomed from the start. That's going to be 4th down.
Right, and it was a screen pass to Walker, and obviously he's one of their threats when it comes to doing that, and that's that same one. They bring him in motion, loop him all the way around the quarterback, and snuffed out that time by the Trojans.
Oh, and also the problem is the timing is thrown off on a high snap. If you have a perfect snap, you might get it there. Yeah, the Trojan defense was there, but you get your blockers set and a good throw.
Right, and you don't want to give this Trojan defense. They're just way too fast to give them any inkling of where you're going, and unfortunately with that high snap, they knew exactly where they're going.
Trips right again, one to the left side. Walker's the slot man on the right side.
Here comes the blitz.
Newman fires left side, quick pass, nothing there. Was looking for Sam Knezevich. He just threw it up, hoping. And I think there's miscommunication because Knezevich shortened off his route. Newman threw it to the end zone.
And I think first time I've seen it, a corner blitz there by the Barnesville Trojans, and it came right into the face of their quarterback, and he just had to let it go.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Barnesville at the 23. Oh, it is cold up here tonight. These WeatherTech pants aren't doing their job. Bredman under center. Handoff right side, driving forward with that John Roller. Gets to about the 25 to the 26 on that carry on the right side as we're under 38 seconds. I'm trying to look at the play clock. Game clock, they will have to. They could let this run out if they would like. But it would be close.
They're coming up to the line of scrimmage.
It'd be the Aaron Rodgers delay a game pass play situation as Bredman looks at the play clock. Snap this with one. No, they're going to go under center right away. And Roller bounces. No, Bredman bounces it off, keeps it, but the ball's on the ground. I believe Barnesville has recovered it. And they have. And that will do it for the 3rd quarter. A scoreless 3rd quarter, but the Trojans lead 13-0. We'll take a break.
Ratzo's Pool Hall. You can find them at 205 Front Street in Barnesville. When you head over to Ratzo's Pool Hall, expect cold beverages, tasty and crispy pizza, as well as a friendly staff. Search for Ratzo's Pool Hall on Facebook, give the page a like and follow so you can keep up to date with all the daily specials, new menu additions, and dates of special events such as karaoke and musical artists. Don't forget, if the Barnesville Trojans are playing, you can watch the game at Ratzel's Pool Hall. They invite you to stop by after the game. 205 Front Street in Barnesville, Ratzel's Pool Hall. Just a fun little place in a small town. The Purple Goose Eatery and Drinkery, located at 310 Front Street South in Barnesville, open every day from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Burgers, salad, pizzas, sandwiches, they got you covered. Daily specials on all food and beverage items on the menu as well. They're located, once again, 310 South Front Street, Barnesville, 2 blocks from Barnesville Senior High School. Order online, purplegoose2go.com, or text your order to 218-321-1963.
Welcome back, fourth quarter from St. Cloud Tech and beautiful Tiger Stadium. It's 3rd and 6 for Barnesville at their own 28-yard line. They lead 13-0, trying to put the finishing touches on the Rebels tonight. Handoff up the middle, and it's going to be enough for a first down on the carry. Roller again up the middle. He gets 6.5, and he'll move the chains.
And I hate to tell you, Jason, but I'm looking up at the lights, and we got flurries going now.
Oh, I'm glad you're looking at the lights. I'm not.
Again, this is the direction that the Trojans have made hay, so to speak. All of their touchdowns going towards this end zone. So let's hope this bodes well for a nice long drive, and they can put this away.
And off Roller again. He didn't get much that time. The Rebels did a nice job right away. In there was Jackson Thompson. Did a nice job to make the tackle.
And again, you really think the Trojans have to be setting something up. They have used that play just a ton. And some updates on some scores, meaningful to both Barnesville and Moose Lake Willow River fans. Chatfield leads Blue Earth area 22-0 in the third. Eden Valley Watkins ahead of Sauk Center now 14-7. And Jackson County Central now up 20-0 over Howard Lake Waverly Winstead, who the winner of this competition will play at the bank.
Bouncing outside on the handoff was Peterson. Got a couple of yards. Tackled inbounds. As it'll be 3rd down and about 5-ish.
I'm getting a little worried about my co-host. I think his vision's going from the cold.
Was jumping the gun on the scoreboard. Looked at the scoreboard, then I looked at the sticks. I'm like, that's not right.
I'm still going to blame it on the cold because I am.
That's Bredman under center. He's going to keep and roll to the right side. Looks to pass. Pressure comes, pass incomplete. He took a big hit there as the Rebels brought some pressure. Getting to the quarterback on that play was Nick Juzik. And Bredman absorbed a big hit there, but he was able to fire it away incomplete. You can tell he's coming off feeling the effects of that one.
Well, he took that hit just as he was throwing. He was completely extended, and those of you who've taken a hit when your ribs are exposed like that, it doesn't matter what the temperature is, that hurts. And they really came after him on that one, Moose Lake Willow River.
I'm sure there's some nervous basketball coaches at this time of the year as basketball practice is getting ready to start up soon. Some of these teams might be missing a few key pieces as this tournament continues to roll on. And the punt almost blocked. They're going to say it's tipped, so no running into the kicker. Barnesville fans, you might be able to hear them below us, not happy with that one. As Suter took that, and that was Mandeville. He took that contact in a very generous or precious spot, and they say it's tipped, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Moose Lake Willow River at their own 25.
Well, we know you can't see it, but we can paint you a picture. I don't know how he didn't block it. I mean, he was like, he got in there so fast, was standing right in front of the punter, and I don't know how he even got the ball off, to be honest with you.
Trips right, one receiver left. Newman drops back, rolls left. Looking to throw now, takes it down and runs. Gets about 2 yards before he's wrapped up on the play on the far side. That's number 40, Connor Lex.
You know, if you're the Trojans, it's all those little things. You know, stopping him from not going out of bounds, keeping this clock running. I know that's happy news to you and to me as well, but if you're the Trojans, you're just playing time of possession almost now. Even if they take 7 minutes to score here, you got to be still feeling pretty good at where you're sitting.
Walker, the motion man to the near side. High snap. Newman pulls it down, steps up, nothing to it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, falls forward. Good pressure by the Trojan defense. As they collapse from the outside, forced Newman to step up. He had nowhere to go.
Definitely targeting Jimmy Walker there again, and I almost thought he left early as he came in motion again. He started towards the line of scrimmage. It had to be simultaneously, Jason, and they have obviously a better view than we do from the bird's nest up here.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right, man in motion, past the motion man. That's complete, Jackson, but nothing doing. Barnesville sniffed that out all night long. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you could hear even the fan base on this side now is caught on. They yelled screen as soon as they seen that motion. So I'm just going to make a call here. You're going to see that, and something's going to go back the other direction for Moose Lake. They've ran it 5 times. 4 times have been very successful. We saw Barnesville really stick to that now. Let's see if they have a counter away out of that set.
Nick Juzek to punt for Moose Lake, Willow River. Barnesville doesn't send anyone back. We've seen a lot of bad punts on this side.
I don't know that you can field one going this way. It actually does as good as it can do on that one, but we watch it in air from where we're at, and it blows back a good 10, 12 yards. I don't even know that you could field it anyway.
Ends up getting a nice punt off. It's inside Trojan territory at the 47-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, 7:39 to go in this second half. Trojans, even if they don't score, would like to take about 4 minutes off the clock here.
And this is what your offense is made to be, Jason. So here's where you want to go, but man, that adjustment the Moose Lake Willow River coaches go to, I almost want to watch this again just to see that change in that defense and how it's changed this game up to this point.
Bredman keeps it himself, gets wrapped up on the outside, that time by Jackson Thompson. You know, some teams will be trying to find the huddle tape of this one for future, especially in Section 8, as well as others coming in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's like a defense I've never seen before, Jason, and I don't know if it's something they had specially made up or they drew this up thinking they could stop, but they've got 4 stacked guys right in the box, and I think the back 2 key on the quarterback, the middle 2 key on the running backs, and they just go at them. But here we go.
And gone to the house. John Roller and the dagger for 53 yards out.
And that's the play they've went over and over and over, and it's went for 1 yard, 2 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And man, did he make that look good, and what a great job of blocking by that offensive line. And I'm afraid that one might be the dagger, Jason, as we hit 6:40 or so on the clock, and it's been really tough offensively for Moose Lake Willow River. Now they're going to have to probably put the ball in the air.
And the 2-point conversion is good to Greg. That makes it 21-0, and we'll take a break.
Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Call, text, email Jack, Rhonda, or Terry with questions and get a quote today.
Barnesville Internet is keeping residents connected with even faster speeds, up to 1 gig. Our symmetrical system means you can upload data at the same speed that you download. Everyday activities are quicker and hassle-free. From streaming movies in HD to video meetings with coworkers, playing online games, or saving files on the cloud. Speed matters, and so does great customer service. You've got them both with Barnesville Internet. Call or stop by today. And let's get started.
Welcome back to a chilly Tech Tiger Stadium. We thank you all for tuning in. Hope you are enjoying our broadcast tonight as Bonneville sends that one in the end zone for a touchback. Roller with 2 touchdowns. Just breaks the big one, and it's 21-0 with 6:52 to go.
Yeah, really well executed there by the Trojans. Just that same backdoor play, everybody going left, Roller going right, and man, he just hit that hole, and there was nobody there. It was like the seas had parted, and maybe the frozen sea is the way we're going here. But yeah, the wind is definitely picking up again as I'm watching the field goal post just shaking now. And it's loud in here when Barnesville scored, but not quite that loud.
3 receivers right, 1 to the left side. Newman in the gun. Newman looking to throw, fires incomplete. He was looking for Sam Knezovic again.
Right, and this might draw that game out a little bit if they get into this passing attack and stopping the clock, but you know what's going to happen if they go 3 and out. Barnesville's going to go right back to that ground game and try to wear down this clock and punch their ticket to the U.S. Bank.
First and 10, ball at the 20, or second down, after the incomplete pass. Send a man in motion. They're going to hand it off. Bouncing outside, but nothing doing for Jackson Thompson. Gets wrapped up, meant there on the play by Brody Gray, as well as Connor Lux.
Yeah, and that was the counter coming off of one of the plays, and I thought it was open for a second. Man, I'm just impressed with this Barnesville defense and the speed. You know, they don't have to make many changes because they just rally to the football so well.
3rd down and 9 at the 21. Approaching the 6-minute mark.
Double twins here. Let's see if there's something going back door.
Newman over the middle of the field, pass complete. Making the catch, Knezovic has a first down to the 35. Straight up the middle.
And that was a different look there. They ran that back in the motion all the way to the sidelines again, and then they ran 2 verts, and they hit the verts. So, yeah, nice adjustment there by Moose Lake.
Trojans called timeout. We'll take a break.
Your family, your friends, our community. At Midwest Bank of Barnesville, these cornerstones of family, friends, and community is the very heart of Midwest Bank. Whether it's help in expanding the family farm, building, remodeling, or purchasing your new home, or supporting our local schools, Midwest Bank is here because you are our family, you are our friends, and this is our community. Midwest Bank, banking your way on South Front Street, Barnesville. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Ratzel's Pool Hall. You can find them at 205 Front Street in Barnesville. When you head over to Ratzel's Pool Hall, expect cold beverages, tasty and crispy pizza, as well as a friendly staff. Search for Ratzel's Pool Hall on Facebook, give the page a like and follow so you can keep up to date with all the daily specials, new menu additions, and dates of special events such as karaoke and musical artists. Don't forget, if the Barnesville Trojans are playing, you can watch the game at Ratzel's Pool Hall. They invite you to stop by after the game. 205 Front Street in Barnesville, Ratzel's Pool Hall. Just a fun little place in a small town.
Motion man to the near side. Newman drops, fires pass, far side. Hook and ladder, it's complete! To the far side, into the Trojan territory to the 35. Jackson Thompson, the recipient of the hook and ladder, and it's a first down. Walker, the initial man, then is pitched to Thompson. That's brought to the 39-yard line. Get a little excited on hook and ladders if you notice past broadcast history.
I would say you've done quite well announcing those, Jason.
3 receivers left, 1 to the right side. Newman in the gun. Under 6 to go, 4th quarter. And now the Rebels taking their time. Newman fires a pass, incomplete to the far side. That was intended for Walker.
Definitely one of their favorite targets is Jimmy Walker, and I can see why. He's got a nice frame and long reach, and he's done well tonight with catching the ball in this cold weather.
2nd down and 10 at the 39, 5:42 to go. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right side. Newman with the back to his right. Now Newman keeps to the left side. Has some room now, tries to cut back, but runs into his own receiver. But he gets a nice positive gain there to about the 39. Or excuse me, the 34. Ball started at the 39. It'll be 3rd and 5 as Connor-Lux makes the tackle.
And those pass plays have definitely opened up a little bit of the run game, and a good time to hit those screens and draws and those sorts of things. And that's kind of what they're doing, and then they'll go back for a long pass play. But I think you got to pick up this 1st down here.
Pass behind the intended receiver of Owen Lowe. Pressure came on the edge. Newman threw it quick. It's incomplete. It's 4th down. 5:04 to go, 4th quarter. Trojans sensing another trip to the bank.
And this will be, I believe, your ball game unless something really strange happens, Jason. Either the 1st down's going to get picked up here, or I think your Trojans, you're just going to run out that clock. And I think it would be tough to get 3 scores, but stranger things are happening in the game of high school football.
Trips right, 1 left. Newman barks out the calls to the line. Takes a look to the sideline now, gets the snap. Looks, fires over the middle of the field, incomplete. Too strong for Sam Knezovich. It's turnover on downs. 5 minutes to go. Barnesville is getting ready to cash their check at the bank as they lead 21-0.
1st and 10 Trojans at the 34-yard line.
And we'll have a Friday, November 18th date at U.S. Bank Stadium.
And right now it looks like it could possibly be Jackson County Central as they are up 20-0 yet on Howard Lake Waverly Winstead.
Bredman to keep. Gets across the 40 to the 42. And you expect the Trojans will use all 40 seconds of the play clock here.
A real good game. The one that's probably remaining in the out there is Eden Valley Watkins and Sauk Center, who knocked off Osakis. If you go down the trail, who played Barnesville, Eden Valley Watkins up 14-7. Yet it's just starting the 4th quarter.
And indeed, the Trojans are using much of this play clock as they get set at 6 and snap it with 4. But nothing doing on the handoff. And it'll be 3rd down and 5. I wouldn't be surprised if I hear timeout Moose Lake Willow River.
Thompson on the tackle. No gain.
The coach was walking out, but he was just cheering on his defensive front.
30 seconds on the play clock, so we can take this down to like 3:20 somewhere in there, and you run another play, you're going to be under 3 no matter what happens here. By the time that Barnesville punts the ball. And if they get a 1st down here, Jason, I think you can about call it over because the way they're going to just milk this clock right now.
To the line with 5, Bredman. Keeps it himself, right side, has a 1st down. Move the chains, and I think it's safe now to write Barnesville into the semifinals. If you're keeping a bracket at home, it'll be easier to find at home than it will be at MSHSL.org. 1st and 10. for the Trojans.
Again, I like that they're breaking huddle, which is sometimes there's two different styles to doing that. Some teams like to break huddle with like 10 seconds, get up to the line. Barnesville's coming out of their huddle like normal. They're not getting set till that 10-second line mark, and then they wait till about 5 to snap it just so they have some time.
Roller across midfield down to the 45. And folks, we thank you for tuning in, but I'm going to tell you ahead of time, it's going to be a quick post-game show tonight due to the weather and equipment. We want to make sure we can get this warmed up and keep our equipment safe as the Rebels are trailing the Trojans 21-0 with 2.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. And Barnesville starting to make some changes. As you can tell, they're ready to advance to the bank.
Right, and the time rolls down here. As you can see, 2:17, 2:15 on the clock, and you can just sense the excitement on the sidelines as they're getting ready to make that all-important trip to the bank as we have a stoppage of clock here. And maybe not enough guys on the field or something as Barnesville takes their second time out.
Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Maybe you need a summer getaway. Contact Josh Weedcheck, your local hometown licensed real estate agent with Priority Real Estate in Barnesville. Josh will assist you in finding a new home for you and your family. Whether it's a pre-existing home or a lot available to build your own dream home, call or text Josh today, 218-790-2477. Priority Real Estate, wishing the Trojans the best of luck in today's game.
Auto Owners protects your home. Because, well, somebody should. That's simple human sense.
Call, text, email Jack, Rhonda, or Terry with questions and get a quote today.
Welcome back. Tech Tiger Stadium here in beautiful St. Cloud, Minnesota on this nice frigid November evening. As it's 2nd and 2, Trojans with the ball coming out of the timeout, looking to ice this game. Bredman under center. No, that's the quarterback change. Keeping it himself.
Number 6, I believe.
That's Gannon Bullgreen. The quarterback, it's going to be 3rd and 1.
And you can see why the Trojans are so successful year in and year out. They just bring in other people. It looked like the same thing. I would have thought Bredman was running it too, Jason. It looked like the exact same steps, the exact same read, and he did the exact same thing and put him in a 3rd and 1 situation.
First down will send the Trojans to the bank. It's 3rd and 2. And Bullgreen gets stuffed at the line. And it'll be 4th down. Head coach Brian Strand has done an outstanding job with this Trojan program. He's got them back to the semifinals. He is in his 18th year, 153-44 as a head coach.
And I forgot to hit for about the 30th time in tonight's game, I forgot to hit the clock button. So we're down under a minute with about 40-some seconds to remaining here.
Handoff left side. Penny on the spot. Stop is short on the spot at Moose Lake Willow River. We'll get the ball with 30 seconds to go. As Andrew Peterson stops short.
Ball is short of the first down. Rebels will take over 1st and 10.
Adam Newman and the Rebel offense coming back out, trailing 21-0. Rebels have yet to score a point against Barnesville in their last meeting and a half. That's going to be 8 straight quarters as the Rebels are just going to kneel it out. and the Trojans are moving on. Barnesville advances with a 21-0 victory over Moose Lake Willow River. And Lance, just a nice performance. Not as clean as the Trojans are used to, but it was still just a dominant performance tonight.
Right, and it was dominant more defensively. So, and the adjustments Moose Lake, Willow River made on defense, they did a nice job. And I think, I'm not saying it's unexpected, but it was a better game than what I thought it was going to be. And they have a lot of things to be proud of. It was just a good game. And if you're the Trojans now, you got to do a little bit of job of kind of healing up. I saw this is a hard-hitting football game like you're going to get at all times at this. And it looks, unless something really strange happens, it looks like Jackson County is going to be the next opponent on the list. So if you want to start scouting and go out and find Jackson County Central, it might be the next thing we do as well.
Scoring started in the first quarter. It was a 4-yard touchdown run by Braden Bredman. That made it 7-0, 40-yard drive. And then it was another 40-yard drive on a John Roller 9-yard touchdown run, made it 13-0. Stayed that way until the fourth quarter. And then Barnesville put the finishing touches on a 53-yard touchdown run by John Roller. The 2-point conversion, there went my notes. 2-point conversion was good. That made it 21-0, and that ended up being your final.
Exactly, and, any given night, it can be any one of these backs. Tonight, it was John Roller, and I don't know how many carries he had, but it was a lot. And he kept pounding and pounding and pounding until he ended up breaking a couple of them, and that's just what makes Barnesville Trojan football what it is they don't give up on what they're doing, and they just kept going until they made it happen. So, it was a great night. If you're a Trojan fan, I don't think you have anything too much to hang your head. If you're a Moose Lake Willow River fan, they played hard and made some nice adjustments, and they just couldn't get their running game going, and that's a lot of Barnesville defense right there.
Well, Lance, it was a lot of fun bringing tonight's game to you here on the Magnitude Sports Network. Thank you guys for tuning in to this radio broadcast here on YouTube tonight. But it's the Trojans advancing. They'll play next week at the U.S. Bank Stadium as they win 21-0. For Lance Rock, I'm Jason Grohl. Thank you for tuning in.
Seating has been a presentation of the Magnitude Sports Network. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, and visit our website at magnitudesn.com for a schedule of our upcoming broadcasts.